High-profile attorney Gloria Allred is representing the first person to file a lawsuit against the city and Mayor Bob Filner with detailed allegations of lewd and sexual harassment behavior. The mayor has hired his own attorney and released a statement saying he plans a vigorous defense. Here with more on the next steps is San Diego City Attorney Jan Goldsmith. Jan, welcome back.
It's a pleasure.
Now, the lawsuit filed by the mayor's former communication director, Irene McCormick Jackson, recounts details of alleged sexual harassment by the mayor. Does your office have to provide a defense for the mayor and for the city?
No, we represent the city of San Diego and only the city of San Diego. Under the law, the mayor can request that the city pay for a defense. And in this case, if the city council approved it, he would get outside counsel. But he would have to make that request, then there would be a hearing, and the council would make certain findings one way or the other and decide whether to pick up the defense. But we're representing the city of San Diego. I say that because there's a conflict between the city of San Diego and the mayor in a sexual harassment type case. And given the circumstances, we would rather not represent both.
Will there be a cross-complaint if indeed he does hire his own attorney, the city council doesn't approve it, and no. You know, as far as paying, who's on the hook for it?
Well, a sexual harassment case, unlike many situations where we defend an employee who is, for example, gets involved in a fender bender, negligence, we defend them, we pay the judgment, and we're responsible entirely. Sexual harassment claims are a lot different. We defend the city of San Diego, but if there's found to be truth to these accusations and we have to pay money, we do have the right to cross-complain against the mayor for indemnity or reimbursement to the city. And so we're preserving that right, and we can do that in a cross-complaint or separate case. In addition, there's less factors having to do with the ability to get the city to defend them. So it's a different animal than most cases.
Okay. Now, the mayor responded to the lawsuit in a statement saying, in part, I do not believe these claims are valid. I intend to defend myself vigorously, and I know that justice will prevail. When did your office learn of the harassment allegations, and what is your legal responsibility or your legal obligation to follow up on those types of claims?
Well, the first time we found any specifics, learned it was the press conference with Donna Fry and the two lawyers, but we didn't have identity. The first time we found an identified claimant was Gloria Allred's press conference. There's a lot of things we have to do. We obviously defend the city, and we've opened our own investigation having to do with the litigation. We will have our investigators getting statements and getting together evidence. But also, as a city, we have a zero-tolerance policy on sexual harassment, and we mean it. I've imposed that in my office. We've taken steps to protect them.
You said some very clear steps. The mayor is not allowed to meet with women. What steps, do you tell me?
Well, in our office, we've been faced with sexual harassment accusations. We take specific steps. And normally what you would do in a situation like this is put the employee on administrative leave or something along those lines. You can't do that with a mayor. So one of the things we can do is make sure he's not meeting with women alone in his offies.
And he's agreed to that?
His lawyer has agreed to that, and on his behalf, as has his chief of staff and the police chief, who is involved with city facilities. That doesn't mean that we've assigned culpability. It's just a temporary step that the law requires us to do. We're going to get to the heart of this. We as a city attorney's office want to get to the truth, and we are going to do it. We've opened our own investigation, and we're going to start taking some statements.
Let me ask you some details about those statements. McCormick Jackson said she saw other women being touched inappropriately by the mayor. Could those other women or city employees be subpoenaed and deposed in the suit, and would that be public record?
The answer is yes, they can be subpoenaed, they can be testified. We don't know their names yet. We want to find out who they are for two reasons. We want to see what they know and what happened, and we want to, if they're still employees, we want to take these temporary steps to protect them. Whether they're public or not, normally, if we were to get a deposition, normally they would be public. There are certain sensitive issues that that the lawyers might agree that, okay, we're going to protect them from embarrassment. So we could do that, but normally they are public.
All righty. City Attorney Jan Goldsmith, thank you so much for the update.
Thank you very much.